Okay, by now you should know what the four carbon compounds are, the macromolecules. Macro just means big, so we're talking about four big carbon compounds. And because you either watched the video or you did the reading, well, the next step is how are we going to actually remember what each of those are and what they actually do for us. So let's review really quick. Here are the four. We've got our carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. Every single one of those is made up of smaller units. So if you look at this picture here, a smaller unit it's called a monomer. And this monomer goes and it's linked to another one, which is linked to another one, which is linked to another one. And every single one of those carbon compounds has a smaller unit. So for example, carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are sugars linked together. So we have a sugar linked to another sugar, linked to another sugar, and on and on and on. You got tons and tons of little sugars connected to each other. It's like think about a chain that somebody wears around their neck or lock your bike. You've got one link linked to another, linked to another. Every single one of those carbon compounds has a smaller unit. So how in the world are we going to remember all four of those things and also what they do for our bodies? Because we're going to see those words constantly throughout the whole rest of the year. We're going to use a method called the keyword method. Here's how this works. Here we've got a word, barrister. I'm guessing that not many of you know what barrister is. It is another word for a lawyer. So how are we going to remember that barrister means lawyer? Well, here's how the keyword method works. If you look at the word barrister, it sounds like bear, right? We get this first part of the word, bear. We talked at the beginning of the year, you want to associate pictures with words. So, because we've got a barrister, I'm going to draw, at least I should say, attempt to draw a bear. There's his head, there's his ears. I think a bear's being fat. I know, worst bear in the world. It doesn't matter how bad your drawings are. Okay, that kind of looks like a koala. Let's make this, he's angry. Oh, now it looks more like a bear. All right, there we go. So we said barrister means lawyer. Well, what do you think of when you think of a lawyer? What I think of is, first I think of somebody carrying a briefcase. So I'm going to have my bear carry, here's his hands, he's going to be carrying a briefcase. Okay, maybe it looks like a purse. It's a briefcase, I'm telling you. What else do you think about when you're thinking about a lawyer? I think of a judge, and I think of like a gavel, like at a desk, right? So maybe here in the background, here I've got my judge. Here's his big gavel. He's ready to hit the bear upside the head. You know, when I think of a judge, I think of those old school English guys with those curly hair, you know, like with those little wigs and stuff. There we go. There's my judge with the gavel ready to pound the bear in the head. Now, I know that it's silly, okay? But if you can remember the key word, you look at that word barrister and it's like, wait, bear, wait, what did I draw? Oh, that's right, I drew a bear carrying a briefcase, and he was getting hit in the head by a judge with a gavel. Oh, a barrister must mean a lawyer. That's the same exact thing you guys are going to do for the carbon compounds. Here's what you need to write down on your sheet. Here are the key words you're going to use for each of the carbon compounds. Proteins, we got the pro part of the word. So pro is our key word here, which is we could be a pro athlete or a pro or a teenager. Proteins. You can do either one, doesn't matter. Lipids, that one's pretty easy. Lip. So your picture will have something with lips in it. The crazier the pictures, the better. Nucleic acids. So we got the part of the word nuke, which is an atomic bomb. So somewhere in your picture, you're going to have a nuclear bomb going off. And then the last one, we've got carbohydrates. To hydrate, when you hydrate yourself, you are drinking water. So your key word here is you're going to have something in your picture to do with water. What you have to do then, let's say we'll go back to lipids. You have to figure out, well, what is the function of lipids? What do they do for your body? Then you got to think of what are all the things that remind you of that function. You'll have in your picture something to do with lips, and include all those functions in there. So up at the front of the room, there is some poster paper. You're going to go and grab some of that paper, and you're going to divide that piece of paper into 4 sections. Each section is going to have a carbon compound, and you're going to draw a picture or a scene that's going to help you remember what the carbon compound is and also what is its function in your body. Have fun with this. Be creative.